Association. Good evening. Under the leadership of His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda and the National Chairperson of NRM. In that meeting, the NRM Parliamentary Caucus members resolved to support and promote the 10 fundamental budget priorities for the financial year 2025-2026 as follows. Priority number 1, maintaining peace, security, and rule of law. 2, human capital development, especially focusing on affordable ways to provide health care by increasing preventive measures against disease, education, water, and social protection. 3, monetization of the economy through wealth creation initiatives that contribute to lowering the cost of money like PDM, EMIOGA, UDB, and UDC, among others. 4, infrastructure development, railways, standard gauge railway and meter gauge railway, roads maintenance, paved and unpaved, affordable electricity, water, and ICT. 5, regional integration to guarantee markets. 6, irrigation to stabilize agriculture. 7, industrial parks for manufacturing, including agro-processing. 8, eliminating corruption. 9, environmental conservation and protection of wetland and forest. 10, vertical and horizontal integration of the economy. These are the 10 priority areas for the budget of the financial year 2025-2026. And our national resources will be focused around the 10 priority areas. I submit. I am here with the Minister of State for Finance to respond to issues relating to our priorities. Again, someone was asking, did we discuss Kawempe? The answer is no. How are we going to mitigate issues or the challenges we are facing at the moment? Fellow Ugandans, we are over 45 million now. To the constitutional framers, they were very, very clear on the duty of every Ugandan citizen. Again, under Article 17, Clause 1, F, every Ugandan is duty-bound under our Constitution to cooperate with lawful agencies in the maintenance of law and order. Again, the frontier of rule of law starts with you and me, the Ugandan citizen, to cooperate with lawful agencies in the maintenance of law and order. The moment we fail to cooperate, that is when we degenerate into what we are seeing. May I appeal to fellow countrymen and women that let's do the right thing at the right time, at the right place. The framers of our national constitution were alive to all these situations, and they put it in our national constitution as our duties as Ugandan citizens. For me, that can be my response for now. That we are duty-bound by the constitutional provision to cooperate first with the agencies that are lawfully in place to maintain law and order. What we are witnessing could be a result of failure to cooperate will now lead us to what we are witnessing. So may we also exercise our constitutional rights, duties and obligations to the dot, of what the Constitution calls upon us to do as citizens of Uganda. When you are faced with a terminal illness, you do not give up. Even if from a general ward and you are taken to ICU, you still fight on. The frontier for the fight against corruption starts with Ugandan citizens, where under Article 17, Clause 1, I, to be specific, every Ugandan citizen is duty-bound to combat corruption and misuse or wastage of public property. So frontier number 1 is with the citizens. The citizens must also be seen to do their part. Frontier number 2 are the laws we have put in place. Full implementation of the corruption-related laws. Frontier number 3, the anti-corruption agencies must implement the laws to the dot. Frontier number 4 is what the Minister of Finance has stated, that more resources has been given in the fight against corruption. So those are 4 areas that we think going forward, even if the challenge is a terminal challenge, we can't give up as a country. This country is big enough, it can accommodate all of us. But if there is a challenge of corruption, we must all unite and fight it. So that is, for me, my response to that question. On the question of rule of law.
Too many. These are 10 strategic areas. We call them enablers. They are enabling our ATMs, our 10-fold growth strategy. The ATMs are agro-processing, the tourism, the minerals, mineral development, and then the science and technology and creative industry. So they are enabled by the 10 areas. If you, as we will be presenting the estimates of revenue and expenditure in the coming weeks, you will realize that these 10 areas cut across all the 20 programs which we have. So, and these are consistent with the National Budget Framework paper, which we recently passed in Parliament, and also the National Development Plan and the NRM Manifesto. So they are not many, they are consistent with our national priorities. Did we discuss taxes? Yes, the budget, when we say we are discussing the budget, we look at both sides, the expenditure side and the revenue side. And the concern of the caucus and the president himself on the revenue side is the stagnation of our tax to GDP ratio at 13% for some time. And what does this translate into? Like, our target for next year is going to be 35 trillion against the potential of about 44 trillion. So that is the major concern on whether we are introducing new tax measures or not. This year, as we stated in the National Budget Framework paper, we are not going to introduce new taxes. What we shall do is that we shall bring proposals that are aimed at improving and enhancing efficiency in tax administration. The current challenge we have is not that we don't have, the laws do not provide for enough measures to collect the taxes. The current challenges we have, number one, is informality, is corruption, is corruption and tax evasion. Those are the main challenges. If we can fix them through efficiency, we can be able to correct the taxes we want without necessarily introducing new measures. There is U.S. decision. I think you are referring to, is it U.S. or USAID? USAID terminated funding, especially in the health sector. We have compiled together with the Ministry of Health. The figure comes to about 600 billion. In the critical areas, especially medicine and other essential items which they have been funding, we shall provide the funding for this internally under GOU. We will not allow our people to die because USAID has gone away. We are in discussions with the Ministry of Health, and by the time we finalize the budget, there will definitely be a provision to cater for what USAID has been financing. Obua will answer the rule. We have initially provided 200 billion. However, we have a stock of verified arrears which is in excess of 2.8 trillion. What we want to do, and from the commitment we made in the caucus this evening, was that let's do a thorough audit so that we know how much is real for domestic arrears, because accounting officers tell us an amount. When we verify, sometimes the figure goes up, sometimes the figure goes down. So once we do this, we shall put a mechanism, because we feel we should get this off our books at an earliest opportunity. So once we get the exact amount of arrears, we shall go back to the caucus and the president with options, funding options, and this will be soon. This will be within this month or next month, before we finish the budget. This question of arrears, we feel, should be answered, and there will be a solution. Thank you very much. We want to get the whole total. 2.8 is already verified, but it's a moving target. It's also not constant. So what we want to do, we want to audit afresh so that we know this is an amount which is owed by us. And then we find the financing strategy. We shall take the decision. For instance, in the roads, very soon you will hear what we have done to pay all these certificates which have been outstanding. We are coming out with a plan. Very soon we shall finalize. Even these other arrears, after we have audited and confirmed that this is the exact amount owed by our suppliers, we shall come to the cabinet, to the caucus and the president and say, here is the financing strategy. Because the bottom line is we want to get these arrears, domestic arrears, off our balance sheet. And I think that is a good step we want to make.